Hey guys, Tales of Creed here, and welcome to a little discussion video similar to one I've done before. I know it's been quite a while since I've talked about this, and there's been a lot more news that's been released, and it's going to be probably a bit bigger of a video than last time, but I did want to come back and actually talk about this. I meant to actually split this up and make a couple videos about this, but I've been a little busy. Been making different videos and I just didn't really get to this, and I really feel bad about that because I wanted to make this like a thing that I would constantly do, like consistently every time there's more news and stuff. So I wanted to come back today and actually talk about this because honestly I don't really have a lot of friends that talk about this series, and like I want to talk about this series and I like talking about this, and a lot of people that I talk to don't really like this series, or well, mostly have tried it and like understand that. I think people understand that it's such a long series and there's a big commitment involved, and it's hard to get people involved pretty much. So I don't know, I wanted to talk to you guys about some Cold Steel 3 news. Of course, that's what we're talking about, and that's what we're pretty much going to be going over. There's a lot of news that's come out since the last video I made, so it's going to be probably quite a long video. But I kind of want to just skim over all of it. Well, most of it. I don't know if I have all of it. There's going to be a lot of clicking involved because I have a lot of screenshots and everything in front of me, which I'm going to have to save and make in the video. But there's been a lot since the very beginning when I made that first video. So this is kind of a continuation, but there's a lot more because it's been a very long time. So let's go ahead and start off with the easy stuff. Start off with the pretty early stuff. So I know this has been out for a little while. Some of this news will be very old to you guys. That's because it is pretty old. It's been out for probably a couple months by now. But they start going over details for each character that's been coming out for the main cast, as well as side characters that I'm really excited for. I'm like extremely excited for some of the characters that are coming out pretty soon for this game. This, honestly, I'm going to be rambling a little bit, so I'm sorry, but this game is going to be probably this is probably going to be the best game in the series. Like, straight up. This is probably going to be the best game Falcom has ever fucking made in their life. Because they're fucking nailing it. They're like, and they're like throwing out all the news like crazy. Let's actually get started, though. So, first off, Rean Schwarzer, of course, is returning to the game. He's going to be most likely the main character. I mean, I made a small thing in that previous video saying, you know, those two other characters that have been introduced may be the main characters. At this point, I'm probably going to say probably not, but I feel like it's not an insane thing to think might happen. So that might be a thing. He is now 20 years old, though. He was urged by the government to join the Imperial Army, but he refused and instead opted to become an instructor at the Thor's Military Academy Reeves 2 Branch School. So that's the second Thor's that's being kind of created in a different location, which is to the west side of Erebonia. And so in this it's not as a new school. It's a new Class 7. There's going to be a second Class 7 pretty much. And Rean is going to be the instructor of this Class 7, similar to Sarah, who is the instructor of the original Class 7, of course. So next up with the actual new characters, I mean, everyone knows Rean, so it's nothing new there. Juna Crawford, who is the pink-haired girl with the tonfas that was introduced very, very early on. 17-year-old student in Class 7. She is from Crossbell State, which is pretty surprising. While she originally desired to join the Crossbell Police, she ultimately decided to enroll at the second branch school once Erebonia occupied Crossbell, which happened recently. Crossbell maintains its status as a trade hub even after Imperial occupation, but rumors of a liberation movement begin to spread. So, kind of a big thing going on. That's probably going to be a big plot point in the third game that's coming out pretty soon. So Juna, Juna's fine, but nothing crazy. You know, she's a character. Here's the character that I am extremely excited about. Besides, like, the obvious excitements that will come later on, Kurt Vander is a fucking Vander, because the Vanders are super cool. Dude, the Vander family is fucking radical. I mean, we have Mueller, we have the dude in Guy's hometown or homeland up in the north. I totally forgot his name, to be honest. Excuse my my lack of immediate knowledge. I apologize. But so Kurt Vander is a skilled 17-year-old dual-wielding swordsman from the Vander family, once known as the protectors of the Imperial family. After the Vanders lost their status due to the actions of Gileath Osborne, Kurt initially decided against attending the second branch school, but his brother Mueller initially encouraged him to enroll. So his brother is Mueller Vander, who is the bodyguard to Olivert Arner, which is fucking radical. Like, the Vander family is just so cool to me. Like, because we've seen so many of them so far. Well, not so many. We've seen like 2, I believe. But just to have like a family of, and they're a well-known swordsman family. They live by the sword and they're very good. They're strong as fuck. This video is going to be very rambly and all over the place. I'm sorry, it's probably going to be a little bit of a mess. But the Vander family is fucking radical. I mean, we've known about them since Sky, and even one of them was playable, and which is Mueller, of course. And it's super cool. Like, I don't know, like when I heard he was a Mueller, or I'm sorry, when I heard when he was a Vander, I was like, holy fuck, that's awesome. You know? So he is one character I'm very excited about. I'd like to know more, like a lot more about him and his sword style and what he does, and his sword skills make a lot more sense since he's part of the Vander family, since they are one of the most well-known established families that take up the sword. So that is something really cool. These are all members of the second class of Thors that Reen is going to be kind of instructing. So last but not least in this list, there's going to be more, I promise. But the last one is Altina Orion. God, sorry. I'm dumb. Orion. Altina has been seen in the Cold Steel 2, of course. She was a pretty big antagonist in that game. And God, I've seen some recent screenshots, actually, and I am very surprised at how pronounced Altina is to the story. It seems to be she's going to be a very prominent character, and I'm very interested in that. So, she's a mysterious girl who lacks emotion with the codename Black Rabbit. After the Civil War, she has been carrying out various tasks for the Imperial Intelligence, as well as monitoring Reen Schwarzer as a partner. When he decided to become an instructor, she joined Class 7. So that's how that goes. She basically has joined Reen as like a kind of secondary, a partner, pretty much. And she's so interesting because we honestly know very little about the Orions and like what they are. I mean, we've had fucking, God, I'm being dumb. Millium. Jesus. Can't remember names right now. We have Millium in the party for both first and second of the series. And we didn't really learn anything about what they are. There's going to be Cold Steel spoilers, by the way. I don't know if that's an obvious thing or not, but there's going to be Cold Steel references and also spoilers, so I hope you're ready. We don't really know anything about them too much. I mean, we know it a decent amount, but not specifics. And I hope in this game, with Altina being part of the party, because she was like a very, I don't know, like a mystery kind of in Cold Steel 2. And I hope in this game that we get to learn a little bit more about what's going on with those two. It's mostly those two, but I'd like to know a little bit more about them, and I hope this game does jump on that, and I'm very interested in that. So that is one thing that we're going to be tackling in this game, hopefully. Next up, we have some big players. coming up. Next up is Relia, which we did see in the second game. She's a former commander of the Noble Alliance and fought in both the Erebonian Civil War and the Northern War. Although she retired from the military, she finds herself as the principal at Thor's second branch. Which, holy shit, I didn't even realize. I haven't read these properly to myself. That's fucking rad, dude. So she has mastered both the Evander and Arcade sword styles at a young age, and she is the Countess of the Le Guin family. So Relia also was a super fucking rad character in Cold Steel 2. We only saw her like once, and she was super cool and the reason she was so cool is because she intimidated our main characters. She talked to Laura for a very short amount of time, and she was like, and Laura was like fucking like, oh fuck, I don't know if I can talk to this girl. Like there was a lot of tension in that one scene, and it's not like we haven't seen her. I think we saw her like more than that time, but please excuse my lack of media knowledge. But she was a character that was so interesting, like from the very beginning when you first see her in that like one scene. And the fact that she has mastered like these sword styles, like that just makes her even more impressive. And since she's going to play a pretty prominent role in this game, considering she's going to be the principal of the Thor's 2 branch school, that's going to be pretty fucking rad. And I hope to learn a lot more about her. So, fuck yeah, man. Second is Best Girl, as you probably saw coming. Toa Herschel. They showed off some artwork with Toa Herschel, and Toa is looking amazing. Toa looks so great. I love Toa so much, and I'm so glad we get to see her, and that's just, I don't know. I love Toa. So she's obviously the previous student council president of Thor's military academy. She's since graduated. Toa played a key role in liberating the imperial capital during the war. While she was highly sought after graduation, Toa decided to take a professor position at the branch school, which she leads the Class 9 division, or class, which is the accounting division. So, Toa, obviously, she was a pretty high up there in the school, so she was going to be graduating. And now she is working at the other school as a professor, which is totally cool. I mean, we're going to be near her. That's where we're going to be. So I'm like, fuck yeah, we get to see Toa. It's not like she's going to be gone. Not like she's going to be flying around anywhere, doing anything crazy. She's going to be at the school as a professor, so we're going to see her all the time, I would think. And that's awesome. Like, and I cannot wait. I honestly, I cannot wait because I love Toa so much. And then we have Major Michael. Michael is a focused elite officer of the military police and fought alongside Prince Oliver during the Civil War. Despite being rivals, he often worries about Claire Revelt, who has the same rank as him. That's interesting, I didn't know that. He is currently at Thor's 2nd as a professor, but his main duty is to monitor Relia. So, nothing really to say about this guy. I mean, he looks like a dude. Which is such a contrast to everything I've been saying before this. But he does look interesting. I mean, he's a major. He's a military dude. He has the same rank as Claire. So Claire's a big deal. But I don't really know him too much. I don't believe we've seen him before, have we? I might be wrong about that. But not a very noteworthy character so far. I'm sure in this game, since they've introduced him as a very prominent character, I'm sure he's going to be pretty important. Besides that, no. Next up, we do have some other Class 7 new people being added to the class. We have, God, I don't know how to say her name, Musa. I think it's Musa. This girl has the best design in the world. I really like her design. I've also showed a picture of her in the last video, but now we finally get confirmation as to who she is, since this is going to be her first appearance. She's a 16-year-old noble girl who joins the Thor 2nd class after previously dropping out of an all-girls school during the Erebonian Civil War. She's a markswoman enrolled in Class 9 and wields a magical rifle. I wonder why she's in Class 9. Huh. Was that like an established thing beforehand and then she goes to class 7? She tries to seduce Reen at every chance she gets, which I'm super excited for because she is pretty cute. So that's awesome. So Musa Egret is her full name. And that is... I like her. I like her design. I hope she ends up being a pretty cool character. I'm really excited for her. Second person who's going to be added to the class alongside the first few that I mentioned is Ash Carbide. Ash is a 17-year-old student enrolled in the Class 8 class and wields a poleaxe arm. Before enrolling at Thor's, he was a leader of a gang in Erebonia and gained some notoriety during the Erebonian Civil War, even gaining the attention of local bracer guilds. He acts especially antagonistic towards Reen, so it seems like he's going to be kind of a dick. He does seem like the kind of dickish character, to be honest. He has the hair for it. You know, he kind of reminds me of Agate, to be honest. I'm sure he's fine, though. These people like that tend to warm up, so I'm excited to see it. I'm actually pretty excited to know this guy. I think I'm more excited about these two than Juna, to be honest. I think Juna probably looks the most plain out of the Class 7 new recruits. So I think I'm really excited for these two. I think these two look very promising. So I'd like to know more about them. We also get to learn about the town of Reeves, which the Thor's the Thor's school is going to be taking place in. So it's on the west side of Erebonian Empire. After the war, the opening of an armed military academy was a bit controversial, but the residents still welcome new students, and new stores have been popping up in the area. So I don't believe we know too much about Reeves, but it is the town where Thor's is going to be taking place. Of course, if you happen to know some information that I'm skipping over or I miss, I apologize, and you can obviously post it. You can correct me in the comments below and add some information. I will probably like it or pin it so people know about it. I'm not going to know every single thing about this series and all the information that's going on, but that's the town that's the town where Thor's is going to be established. So I don't know if we know too much about Reeves. I don't know if we've heard it throughout the series. I don't remember hearing it, at least. But of course I may be wrong. Like I didn't know about Ortis, or I didn't remember Ortis. Then recently I played Cold Steel 1, and then one of our Team B, when we went to Ruhr, I believe, Team B actually went to Ortis, and they told us about Ortis, and I kind of forgot all about the information of Ortis. So that's kind of a thing. So obviously, if I miss some information, you can always correct me and put it in the comments. So those are two characters that look super awesome and interesting, and I'm really excited for that. Besides that, let's take a look. So I think we're getting to the most exciting part for me, which is there were some teasers before this, and I was like, if they do this, this is actually going to be the best game in the series. And I was dead serious about this. So they this was pretty recent news too, and I was like, wow. They're really doing this, and I went absolutely insane. So so after all this time, it's been like, I believe 4 years since Sky at this point in the series. Teeter Russell is going to be in Cold Steel 3, and I fucking was like, no way! I don't think you guys understand, because Tita is amazing, and Tita is a sweet child and the best girl ever, and I couldn't believe my goddamn eyes to see like some of the artwork of her grown up. You know, it's been 4 years since we've seen her in Sky, and I was like blown away. I'm still fucking nuts about Tita being in this game. Like, I think that is the best thing ever. Also, Agate's in the game, but who cares about Agate? No, Agate's great also, but like to see Tita in this game is like a fucking mind-blowing thing to me. Because it's really bringing together the entire series. This game in particular is really bringing together the entire series, and there's even more for characters, honestly, that I don't even really know all that well, but there's even more that we'll go over in this video as well. But Teeter Russell is joining the game as well, and that's fucking exciting as hell. God damn, I'm still like crazy about I'm still crazy about Teeter being in the game. I love Teeter so much, and to have Teeter and Toa in the same game at the same time is like, I don't know if I can handle that. So, Teeter Russell, if you played the Sky series, you obviously know her. She's now 16 years old, so she's definitely grown up quite a bit, and she looks great. She looks really great, and I'm glad to see her growing up and being awesome. Like, I was really happy to see that. So against her mother's wishes, which is really funny after playing a little bit of Sky Third. I haven't beaten the game yet, but playing Sky Third, Tita's mother is like the best character ever. Tita is enrolled at Thor's second class, or Thor's 2 in class 9. So she is in the administration division. So that is a whole thing. I believe she decided to go to Arabonia and study under Professor Schmidt, who is one of Epstein's students, along with Professor Russell, who is pretty well known from the Sky series. So she's going to learn under him to learn about technology and armaments used by their mysterious foes. So, super hype. Completely good reason to have her over here, and it makes sense, and it's so great to see her back. And, like, I'm fucking extremely hyped to see her in the series. Especially because we get to see, like, her completely modeled, and, like, I'm extremely excited. And, of course, this game cannot be complete with just Tita. Agate has to come with her as well. I mean, it wouldn't be Tita without Agate. It's great. Like, the artwork of Agate actually kind of threw me off a little bit because he looks a lot different. It's a lot different from the art style that we're so used to from Sky that we've seen so many times. We've seen it for so many years, and it's really strange to see him in the Cold Steel art style. Even modeled, he looks so much more different. Like, I think it's just because he cut his hair, kind of, and it looks more, I don't know, he looks just more modern, I guess? I don't know how to explain it, but he just looks so much more different. And it's hard to wrap my eye, or is that the right way? That's such a random way to put that. But, it's hard to wrap my head around how he looks. It's just very different from what I'm used to, you know? But, like, Tita, I could get used to. Tita's transition is totally fine, but Agate's transition from his 2D artwork to a 3D model and the art style, it just looks so different. Like, it kind of threw me off at first how different he looks, but he looks awesome. Like, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just very different to what we're used to. And Agate looks awesome. I'm really happy for Sky references and bringing the series together. I'm fucking excited for this game. Anyway, Agate is now 28 years old and he's an A-class bracer, which is fucking awesome. So glad to see Agate being an A-class bracer at this point. So he not only worries about Tita at her new school, but he also seeks to learn more about the origins of the 100 Days War 14 years ago. Knowing that mysterious societies are making their moves, he also travels to Arabonia. So he's going to be making trips in Arabonia, it seems. Probably trying to look into the Society of Ouroboros. That's kind of a guess, but he is looking more into the 100 Days War, which kind of they played a good amount into, I believe, right? I mean, that was a whole... Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, it's been a little while. I mean, that was a whole thing brought up in Sky, and I apologize if I don't know every single thing. But it seems he's going to be trying to learn more about the 100 Days War, which sparked a lot of kind of shit between Liberal and Arabonia. So, and then we have Professor, why can't I say Professor right today? Professor Schmidt, Known as the brightest scientist in the Empire, Schmidt is one of Dr. Epstein's star pupils alongside Tita's grandfather, who we know very well. His endless curiosity leads to the development of orbital weapons, railroads, and armed machines. And I believe he was also the creator of the Panzer Soldats, which we saw in Cold Steel 2. And he contributed to the creation of the Ashen Knights weaponry, which we also saw in Cold Steel 2. He's currently at Thor's 2 as a special advisor researching and developing new technology with Tita as his new understudy. He also designed the Einhell Fortlet at the school, used as training and weapon test facility. I don't even know what that is, but that must be a thing. This was the news that I was extremely excited for. This kind of blew every sort of news that this series has got out of the water, and I am extremely excited to see Tita and Agate again, like Professor Schmidt, whatever. But Tita and Agate, I'm like fucking like, yes, please. It's so exciting to see those two in this game, and I'm just so excited. So those two are, God, I just can't wait. I can't wait for this fucking game. Anyway, moving on after those few characters, the most recent, I believe we're moving on to the most recent additions to the game, and also I think this is probably coming to an end. I don't know if there's too much more information besides all that, but we'll try and go over it and see if I can. I don't know if I'm getting all the information. There might be more information I'm missing, so if there is, just let me know, and I can always acknowledge it, so I apologize if I missed something. But very recently, the newest news is some Crossbell characters are coming over as well. So again, Falcom is really pushing it to kind of have the series meet all together in this one game, and it makes it so exciting, and it makes it more, I don't know, like probably the most impacting game in the series, in my opinion. They're really pushing hard on this game in particular. I mean, it's going... Also, I forgot to mention, they also have a release date for the game. I believe it's September 28th in Japan. So that was released recently as well. And I also believe that they use that date as a kind of a placeholder for all of their game releases, because that's the end of their fiscal... God, I can't think right now. The... money thing. God, why can't I think of the word right now? You know what I mean? Like, that's their last date of making money for the year, blah blah blah, something like that. I'm being really dumb, I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of all the trail stuff, and then I'm thinking of other stuff. So they use that date in particular to release certain, I think in the last quite a few years, they released games on that particular date. So it was very expected that date was going to hold Cold Steel 3. So not too much of a surprise on that end, but it is nice to know the date of when the game's coming out. Anyway, though, so for the last bit of news, they're introducing some Crossbell characters, which unfortunately I haven't played the Crossbell series, so I know very, very little about. But Tio Plateau, who it seems to be the same age as Tita, so she looks really adorable, and I also like the screenshots of her. She seems really cute. But she's someone who is specializing in monitoring the Imperial Intelligence Division, which sounds really interesting. I'd like to see where she's going to be going with that, because the Intelligence Division in Arabonia is sort of a mystery, considering that we know very little about Lecter besides a couple things, and Milliam and Altina. So it's gonna be interesting to see where these characters in particular are going to be taking place in the story. Same thing with Randolph Orlando, age 24. He's class 8's battle tactics instructor. So he senses combat potential with an Ash. So I guess he's going to be probably Ash's instructor. He was also one of the characters that took place in the Allen Zero games. So he's going to be very memorable for probably Japanese players mostly. But if you've had the opportunity to play Allen Zero, you're going to recognize these two characters. Unfortunately, I don't really know these characters all too well. I haven't played those two games in the series, so I don't really know them, unfortunately, which kind of sucks. Besides that, though, there's also some shots of Prince Oliver, who is 29 now. He's the awesome thing. I mean, obviously Prince Oliver is coming back in the series, but the awesome thing about him coming back into this game is he's going to be showing up in his Olivier outfit, which was in Sky. When he was in the barrel, he only wore a certain outfit to kind of just come off as a normal Erebonian citizen. And I guess he's going to be taking up that role as well, maybe to hide his identity or something. I don't know, but he's going to be wearing his Olivier outfit in Cold Steel 3, which I'm fucking hyped for, dude. Because I miss that outfit. Like, it's cool that he gets to be all, like, royalty and all that. But it's going to be so cool to see him back in that outfit, like, after Sky. And, like, it's going to be such a nice thing to see him back in, like, the normal outfit. Like, I don't know. It'll be cool because it's, like, a Sky thing, So it's really cool that he's bringing back that outfit. I don't know what the reasons are for it. But he's going to be appearing as Olivier Lenheim in this game, which is really cool. There are also some screenshots of the battle system. It's going to be a little bit different, but also a little bit of the same. It looks like there's going to be, there's still going to be like outside of battle, different kind of styles. So like different like puzzles within dungeons reacted with only certain kind of styles that the people had. So Reen only had like really good slashing style, and sometimes a puzzle in a dungeon had like a certain thing that a character had to do to hit it properly. I'm sure if you played Cold Steel 1 and Cold Steel 2, you know exactly what I'm talking about because it's a main mechanic in dungeons. So I'm sure most of the people know what I'm talking about. But that's going to be returning, it seems, because they posted like each person's like specific a thing that they're good at in those segments. So that's going to be a thing. Link attacks are still coming back. All the burst gauge stuff is coming back, of course. That was shown off in the first few screenshots of the battle system. Some of the battle system stuff also I really like is you're going to be able to see the link stuff on like next to your party on the bottom right. The bottom right, like, it shows the link between characters, and I really like that because before it was at the bottom of the screen, and it was a little hard to see, and I feel like they made it a little bit more easier for the eyes on that one. So, and also it's just going to be covering the main buttons on the PS4 controller, so it's going to be a little bit of a change compared to what we're used to, but it's nothing crazy. It's kind of like Persona 5. So, but it looks like a good amount of it is the same, and that's fine with me. So, I'm really excited. Just a lot of very well needed updates, pretty much. And beyond that, though, I think that is about it for all the major news. There isn't anything too crazy. There was a new, kind of trailer off screen. There's some. Sorry, I need to catch my breath because I'm talking so much. There is some new footage. It's not really new. It's like a lot of things we've already seen before, but there is footage in Japan currently of a sort of like trailer of the game, which came out very, very recently, a couple days ago, I believe. It's mostly just showing the characters, what their names are, and I don't know. I need to scroll through it a little bit, actually, but it's pretty much like very small gameplay segments, characters that we know about. There's a very small amount of battle system shots, and it's not a lot of things that is. Everything in there is stuff we know about, like characters we know about and such. So there's nothing really new about it. but it is really cool to actually see it in action. So I do applaud that in that respect. So trailers are always welcome, pretty much. And beyond that, though, I think that is really about it. Release date September 20th in Japan, so probably expect it, I would think, around a year later in America. I don't know if they're going to go earlier than that, but I think at this point in the series, I think they are going to push it a little bit more. And I think it is selling enough where a year isn't ridiculous. So I think a year is a pretty good amount of time. I think 2018, probably near the end of 2018 is where we're going to see this game. And that's going to be fucking awesome. And I don't think that's a ridiculous ridiculous statement to make. I think to me, I feel like that's pretty reasonable. But we'll have to see how Xseed's doing. We'll have to see what they're going to be planning on. I have faith in them, though. I think Xseed is a really good company. I think they're really good at what they do. And I believe that's going to be a thing in around a year. So with that, though, I think that is really about it for all the news. Obviously, Cold Steel 1 is coming to PC pretty soon, which I think is going to up the sales as well, which again, I believe is going to push Cold Steel 3 to coming out around a year later. Same with Cold Steel 2, also coming to PC, which I'm going to be Let's Playing on PC. So I think that's really about it. I think that's all the information that I missed out on. I really wanted to cover all that. This video is way too long, I know. So I'm very sorry about this video being long. I really wanted to keep up with it, but then all this, everything was starting to pile up, and then all the news was piling up. I felt really bad about that. I didn't want to. I don't like making super long videos about this shit, but I do really care about this series, and I want to talk about it. And I don't really have a lot of people to talk about it to, so my outlet is here. My outlet is making a video, you know? So maybe I'm hoping if there's more news, I'd like to make more videos about this, but I think for right now, this is good. I feel like I covered most of everything. So if I did miss a few things, I do apologize. You can always comment down below and let me know. But this game is looking amazing. This is looking to be the best game in the goddamn series, and I'm excited. I am beyond excited. This is going to be probably the game I'm most anticipated for next year. This is going to be my game of the year next year, 100% sure. I know it. I have it in my heart. I know it for a fact. It's going to be. So I think with that's going to be it. I'm sorry this video is very, very long, but for those who are interested and want to talk about it, please comment down below and talk to me about it. I like talking about this series. I like talking to people about this, and the last video actually gained a lot of attention, and I really appreciated that. I was surprised how much attention that video actually gained. So it was really cool, and I like talking about this series, and I know it's a pretty niche series, and it's hard to talk about it. Well, it's not hard to talk about it, obviously, but it's hard to find people to talk to about it. And that's why making videos about it is a good outlet. So I'm gonna stop dragging out this video. But yeah, if I miss anything, let me know. This is gonna be a fucking long video. God damn it. Sorry. But if there's any more news, I will get to it probably. Maybe I'll let stockpile again. But I don't know. Maybe if there's, I don't know. I'll get to it. I promise. I like talking about this shit. But thank you for watching. If you did. God damn, this game's gonna be fucking awesome. Thank you. And yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. I'm very interested. So I guess with that, I will see you guys next time, and we'll get to it then. So hope you're hype as I am. See you then.